Hello, everyone. I am Horror Movie Dad, and he is...
Dinero.
There we go. So this is our Dad and Dinero discussions. We had a discussion, I think it was last week, maybe a week and a half ago. We discussed horror movies. So this is kind of... I got my buddy Kenny, since I've known since high school, to come on and shoot the shit with me about horror movies. Thank you. I've been wanting someone to do that with. I thank you, Kenny, for keep doing this with me. So,
all right.
Yeah. So I've known Kenny since high school. We lived pretty close to each other, and that's how we know each other. So there's that. I also, if you didn't know, I have a YouTube channel called Dad Watches Horror Movies, where I watch horror movies, sit down, watch horror movies, and then just commentate on them, kind of riff, like almost like Mystery Science Theater, but like a new age horror twist to it. And then I'll let Kenny let you know what he does.
Well, if you go to my profile, you'll notice that I am a scientist, I'm an engineer, I'm a rapper, I'm a poet, I'm a director, and I'm also an active geologist.
Dude, that's the five fingers right there, man. You just might as well just stick rings on all those things.
I like to study rocks.
You have to study rocks. All right.
No, but I do rap music.
Right.
If you guys want to hear some, really cool jams, just go to my page and click the link. And I support Dad Watches Horror Movies because we grew up together, and we will be. But do you have a monkey? I don't have a monkey.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, you can listen to any K Dinero music on any of your streaming services, Spotify, Amazon, whatever. Search K Dinero. He's even on YouTube. You can find some music by him. So anyway, let's get to this. So
Okay.
Last week, Kenny chose. I'll say Kenny. It's K Dinero, but I go by Kenny. So Kenny chose to watch Macabre, and so we discussed Macabre last week, and now it was my turn to choose something. We normally choose to watch something on Amazon Prime, because Amazon Prime has primo old school horror movies, and they got a great horror movie selection if you didn't know. So we decided, or it was my turn to decide, to watch The Lighthouse, 2019, that black and white movie with Willem Dafoe. So that was my choice. So I haven't seen it yet. And before we kind of start talking about it, I'll read the little synopsis here. It's The Lighthouse, 2019. There is enchantment in the light. Two lighthouse keepers try to maintain their sanity while living on a remote and mysterious New England island in the 1890s. So I'm sure many people have seen this, but if you haven't, I'm going to let you all know, spoiler alert, there's going to be spoilers that we're going to be talking about. So first of all, this movie's entirely in black and white. It's entirely full screen. So it's supposed to make us think, that it's back in 1890. So
it was weird watching full screen on a widescreen.
Right? When was the last time you did that?
I mean, I haven't seen a full screen show since I would watch VHS tapes. And remember when you put on the VHS tape, the first thing it said is, this VH tape is VH tape. I can't even fucking speak. This VHS tape is formatted to fit your screen. Remember that shit?
Right. They had to actually format it to make it full screen. And now they don't have to do that anymore because it's already filmed in widescreen. So for all those tube TVs that they made back in the day that no one had.
Fuck those tube TVs.
Those things were heavy, bro. I remember I had
Bro, did you ever have, my grandma used to have, and I'll just keep this short because we're talking about The Lighthouse, but
it's all right.
Did you ever have the hella fancy, fucking big ass, heavy fucking, look like a fucking brick, like a concrete TV, but it's all fancy on the side. It's like wood trim with like the push buttons, and then it had like the dial on it.
Right.
And like it was like super classy. It looked like something from like from the White House or something, like you'd watch it in the Jefferson Room or some shit like that.
Yeah, dude, it's like a cabinet. It's like a TV.
Yeah.
My parents had one like that, and it was so heavy.
Dude, everybody. I bet you. What if they come back? Like, what if they make a comeback? I don't think so.
Just bring them back, dude. We'll bring them back.
All right. So, okay. So we were discussing how the movie Lighthouse was filmed entirely in full screen, and it was black and white, and it was filmed during the 1890s. So why don't you go ahead and finish what you were saying before I interrupted you?
You heard the synopsis. So there's these two guys, and they're lighthouse keepers. One guy is the main lighthouse keeper, and another guy comes in first time on the job. And how long are they supposed to be on it? They said it's 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
4 weeks. So they're on. It's an island, and I don't know how close the island is to land or where this island is. They never say anything. They're just on an island, and this is the 1890s. So no phones, no communication, nothing. Right. So all they have is a boat, and they have to take care of the lighthouse for I think it was originally 4 weeks. And so this guy came on with this older guy who's been doing it for a while, which is Willem Dafoe. He's the older guy. The younger guy is actually that vampire from Twilight.
What's his name again?
Man,
Robert something with a P.
His name is Robert Pattinson.
Yes.
Robert Pattinson. Okay.
Okay. I will say, as before we start talking about the movie, I want to say that the acting in this movie was really, really good. I think the acting was genuine, and I think the hatred that okay, what were the two names of there was the captain and then his apprentice?
Right. I think so. It doesn't. Their names were Thomas Howard and Thomas Wake. They both had the same first name.
But we'll get into the names later because names change. Spoiler alert.
Right. So, and I think there was a lot of improv going on here too, because there's a lot of just random rants that they'll go on, and and a ton of improv. So this is probably some of their conversations. I guarantee were just straight off their dome, and they're like, "Dude, just act like you're crazy and you're drunk, and you're just what do they call it? Stir crazy."
Yes. Okay, so they visit the island. Willem Dafoe, who is the caretaker for the lighthouse, right, is basically the main man. And the other guy, what's up, J Stack? J Stack's in the building.
Oh, there you go. What's up, Jeff?
The other guy, which was basically, he's the bitch. He's gonna do everything. He's gonna wash the floors. He's gonna fucking make sure everything's clean. Huh?
Swab the deck.
Yes, he's gonna do everything what he has to do just to get his money.
Right.
But what I kind of think about this movie is definitely it's a power trip. It's definitely about power. There's two individuals on an island who really don't know each other, and from the beginning of the movie, Willem Dafoe tries to assert domination by cheersing him, and he pours out a little alcohol and he cheers him, and then the other guy, the other actor, I don't know if his name was Thomas at first because he gave himself a fake name, and they don't even talk. They don't even talk for 20 minutes. The whole first 20 minutes, they're all setting up and they're all getting ready. They have their backpacks on, and it's like super gloomy. Like they all hate each other. They don't hate each other, but they just hate. You could just see like, what the fuck are we doing? And Willem Dafoe does it. He pours out the alcohol. He goes, cheers. And the first thing the other guy does is says, I don't want to cheers you. So that right off top, you know that, oh, these guys don't fuck with each other at all. Like, dude, if I never knew you, Josh, and I just cheersed you, like, come on, bro. Like, you would cheers me back, right?
Well, especially if I'm going to be with you for 4 weeks.
Like, why would you do
nice
that?
to each other, you know?
Why would you do that? Why would you put yourself, you're on a fucking island with somebody for a month, and the first thing they do is cook you dinner, and they cheers you, and you don't even fucking want to do that. He takes the fucking cup with the alcohol in it, he pours it down the drain, and fills it up with some fucking whatever the fuck was in the sink.
Yeah.
And then when he cheers him, he fucking doesn't even like what he tastes, and fucking Willem Dafoe's fucking laughing at him.
Dude, like there's so many like random hidden messages, or not hidden messages, but just so many different types of interpretations you can do with this movie. It's crazy. So, but what I really liked, that I thought the atmosphere was great. I love a horror movie setting that's on the coastline or the seaside. I'm a big fan of the seaside, so I love a horror movie like that. And that lighthouse, the foghorn, just goes off all the time. It just sets that eerie tone throughout the entire.
Have you? Okay, before you even say anything, have you ever? What's up, homies? J Stack says, "What's up, homies? What's up, J Stack?"
Yeah.
Daddy 707 is in the building.
Nice.
This is Dad and Dinero discussions. We are talking about the movie The Lighthouse. It is a horror movie. You can watch it on Amazon Prime, and we are discussing about the movie The Lighthouse. So,
right.
As I was saying,
welcome.
Yes, welcome everybody. I hope you guys stay. We're talking about a horror movie called The Lighthouse. I'm going to ask you this question. What would you say is the okay, good. He's seen it. What is the Vegas over-under on how many fucking times you hear that goddamn foghorn?
Dude, there's got to be a
what would you say the line, like, what would you say off top? How many times? What's the over-under? I want to say 35 times.
35 is the
over-under.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go over for 35.
I think I would. 35 is close because you hear it like 3 or 4 times every time you hear it, and you hear it. Oh, he's taking the over. Jason, have you seen the movie though?
He must have seen it if he's taken over.
Okay, well, okay. Yeah. So where were we at? What part? So we're talking about.
We're just talking about the atmosphere, and we talked about the beginning with the cheers.
Yes.
Yeah. Then I brought it over to the atmosphere of the coastline and the seaside type atmosphere that I love in horror movies. So, and then that foghorn, which just sets the tone throughout the entire movie. Just that creepy foghorn. It's crazy.
I think so the sound of the foghorn definitely would make a normal person go crazy on an island. Like, just picture this. I said this before. Picture you with anybody, with your favorite, like a porn star that you've always wanted to fuck, or like your role model, or like anyone that you'd love to hang out with for a month, but you're stuck on an island and you got that foghorn going every fucking 10 minutes. Like, what the fuck was Willem Dafoe cooking anyway? What were they eating? You never.
Lobster.
What?
He was catching lobster.
Is that what he was eating? Just lobster? But then there's this weird scene we'll discuss about later about a lobster.
No, go ahead. Bring it on right now. We can talk.
Okay. So do you remember the part? It's in the beginning of the movie where I'm gonna just say Robert because that's the actor's name. The guy from Twilight. Okay, we'll just say the guy from Twilight. The guy from Twilight is sitting on his bed, and there's a hole in his mattress, and he pulls out the mermaid.
Yeah. And, that sculptured mermaid.
Yes. So we know that he likes women because he would jerk off from time to time in the shed with the fucking wooden mermaid.
Hey, that's back in the 90s. There didn't have any printed out porn, man. So that is why he had to whack off to a
I know. Yes, absolutely.
Sculpture. That's porn back in the day.
So check this out. There's a scene where there's a leak in the roof, and he goes to fix the leak in the roof, and he looks through the hole, and he sees his captain on the bed, and the director makes sure that he's laying on the bed with his pants down, with his bare ass out. Did you remember that part?
Right, and he's
what the fuck was that gay shit? Sorry, everybody was like, no disrespect, okay? Because people get offended, but I'm just saying, like, I think the director's trying to say that like this guy has been out on sea and he's trying to put like thoughts in his head, right? He's like going
Right.
crazy. He's like, what the fuck? Like, you know what,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I just think that the whole thing is just him going crazy. So he's seen all this crap. Like, I don't know. But hey, it's 2020 now, man. There's gay scenes and everything. So you gotta throw that in there now because it's part of life.
okay, let's talk about the seagull.
Mm-hmm. The seabird. The seabird. Yeah. Bad luck to kill a seabird.
Why was the seagull, the first time you see the seagull, where was the seagull? The seagull was in front of a room. But what was that room for? Was it the room where he jerked off in?
I don't know. It was one of the it was like the I don't know what room it was. There was you had the main house, and the main house had that hallway attachment that went to the lighthouse, but then there was like a shack. I think the shack had all the supplies or something in it, and that's where the seabird
supplies. Yes.
Yeah. So this seabird would terrorize Twilight guy. That's what I'm gonna call him from now on. He terrorized that seabird.
Twilight guy. Oh, everybody knows.
Yeah, Twilight guy. So
hold on. What does it say? What does it say? Hold on. It says
Robert Eggers is a fucking boss. The Witch was dope too. I think I heard he's supposed to make a Viking movie next. So that is the director.
I thought The Witch was scary as fuck. That movie was like really fucking fucked up. But this movie,
it's on the same level.
Yeah, but this movie was more on like you know when you watch The Shining, right? Yeah. And you think there's ghosts in the house, but in reality, like obviously we all know like Danny shined and he could do all this stuff, but let's just like be realistic in the point of view of like if you're in somewhere isolated, like
start seeing shit.
What was his name? What was Jack Nicholson's name in The Shining?
Oh, Jack Torrance.
Jack Torrance and his family. You're isolated in a fucking huge ass house. Doesn't matter if you're in a light, like you're gonna catch cabin fever. You're gonna go fucking crazy. Right. So what I think what made this movie so crazy is like imagine putting yourself in a situation realistically on an island with a lighthouse with someone that you don't even like. All right, you don't even get picked up, right, because the weather got fucked up. But then you think it was just the weather. But Willem Dafoe kept talking about if you fuck with the seagulls, you're gonna fucking curse us because the seagulls are sailors that have died on the island or on sea.
Just in general, all seagulls are sailors that have died at sea. So that's what he said. Fuck with the sea.
I like the fact that it was just so realistic in the point, like it's scary because you have to put yourself in the situation where, like, what would you do? What would you do if you were the guy from Twilight with that fucking crazy ass fucking motherfucker Willem Dafoe? And I had to put on my my closed caption from the very beginning of the movie because I couldn't understand what the fuck they were saying. They would talk so fast and like a sailor. I don't know what the fuck they were saying.
You know what? I wish I did that because plenty of times it took me the movie's long. It's like an hour and 30 minutes, hour and 40 minutes long. It took me almost 2 hours to watch it because I rewound so many conversations just so I can hear it. But I never even thought to put on the subtitles. I'm going to do that next time if I can't understand somebody. But I probably would have understood the movie a lot better. And because especially Willem Dafoe, he goes on those fucking rants, bro. And he's just like, oh, the seabird and the swab of the door and the beast of Darpany and that fight.
Well,
I love the seabird. You know what I mean?
The best rant that he goes on in this movie is when they're about fed up with each other, and I believe it's when they're stuck on the island. And Willem Dafoe tells him to get a shovel, and he shovels up the fucking secret stash of booze. And they're upstairs and they're eating. And the guy from Twilight, it's so funny we call him the guy from Twilight. Just so you know who we're talking about, the guy from Twilight. He says,
well, his real name is Robert Pattinson.
Remember? Hey, remember? He says, he basically says, your cooking sucks. And then Willem Dafoe gets up.
He gets all
his eyes were so big. His eyes, and he's just going off and off and off. I was like, what the fuck?
How dare you trash my cooking?
But the shit that he said, you can't make that stuff up.
No, dude. And I think it was all off the dome, man. I really do.
I think so too.
Yeah. Dude. So, but there's another part of this movie with when it comes down to the octopus or the mermaid or whatever that makes a couple appearances. I'm going, the one time where Twilight guy goes up to the lighthouse and he sees he hears all that sloshing around or whatever, and then kind of sees like a tentacle or whatever, or something like that.
Yes.
Like,
I remember that. I agree with that.
What was that about? I'm thinking that's in his head. He's just freaking just going crazy, but I don't know. And then I don't know what's going on with this mermaid or whatever, or tentacle guy, or I don't know what the hell it is.
Well, okay, hold on. Why the fuck were there logs in the beginning before he saw the mermaid? There was all these logs that would come in symmetrical. Like they kept coming and they would start to space out.
Wasn't he? I think he was reminiscing because he was a lumberjack or something.
Oh, that's right.
He was reminiscing of the logs floating down the river or whatever. Yeah. And I think didn't he get trapped in the logs or something when he was younger? I don't know if I'm reaching in the dark here, but I think he was, because he said he had a whole bunch of different jobs before doing it. He did a bunch of different odd jobs all the time just to get money.
Okay, my next question is, I've never seen a movie so realistic when he took the seagull and he fucking killed the seagull and smashed the seagull like against the cement. Like I was like, wait a second, like am I gonna have to watch the end of this credits to know that like there was no animals harmed in this movie? Because that shit looked real as fuck. And if that was a real seagull, damn, that's some fucked up shit. You should look that up. We should look that up.
They're overcrowded anyway, man. You got. It's okay to kill a seagull here and now.
Dude, he fucking smashed that fucking seagull.
Go to the beach, everywhere.
Okay,
but that was a surprising scene. I didn't think he was gonna do something like that, but they made it so elaborate too. Like it wasn't just like one smash or two smashes and throw him out or whatever. He was just anger. Just
okay. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to the part where I believe this whole movie was about power. Okay, because he had the keys, right? And whenever somebody has the keys in anything, they have power. Like if you go at your job, right? Yeah. If you're like a manager, they got the keys, right? Or if you're locked up or something like that, the head guy who's running everything has the keys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I'm talking about the security, like the people that work in jail, like that run everything. The main guy has got the keys. And you could say a whole bunch of other shit. Like if you got the keys, you got the power. Right. Willem Dafoe always had the keys for everything. And so like he never let him go and see what was up in that light. And I think that kind of like drove him crazy. And I don't think there was anything up there but just the fucking light.
Yeah, dude. That was probably it, man. That's the most important thing of the island is the light. So he had to have the power to control it. So anyone that just joined, I saw two people that just joined. We're talking about the Lighthouse. Another person just joined. We're talking Lighthouse, 2019 horror movie. I'm Horror Movie Dad. This is K. Dinero, Dad and Dinero Discussions, talking Lighthouse. So about halfway through most of the talk. Warning, there's spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, if you care about spoilers, you might not want to listen. You can cover your ears, but you can still watch our beautiful faces if you really want to.
Okay, so let's fast forward. What's that? Sorry. Let's fast forward to the end of when we're getting close to the end of the movie, where there was a point where
But we gotta
let's
wait.
let's talk about the lobster scene where he calls him out and he's all, do you want to? Willem Dafoe says, "You want to see my lobster? Are you talking about my lobster?" Like he's like, "Are you talking about my food or are you talking about my lobster?" And then the guy from Twilight gets all fucking crazy, like, "Nah, man, like I ain't talking about that." And he's all, "You are talking about that." And then every night they would just drink. They would dance together. Remember when they danced? Like all, I don't, dude.
Belligerent, and they would scream and like, dude, heave ho, man, like those heave ho freaking pirates, man. They'd scream and oh man, I don't know what. Might as well just drink. But then they start drinking turpentine, right?
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think they started drinking turpentine, dude. And that's
so. Where did they get the turpentine?
It was in the shack, and I believe they started drinking turpentine, and I think that's what made them go completely crazy. Uh-oh, we got some buffer,
and then uh-oh.
Right. You're buffering, dude. I can kind of hear you, but oh wait, you're coming back. Oh, there you are.
Can you get me?
Yeah, good now. Good. Okay. Oh, we got a wave here.
So I
love Lear. What's up? Waving back. You there, Kenny?
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Right. I hear you. Go for it.
All right. So I completely forgot about the turpentine. That probably is why when he fought Willem Dafoe, he turned into that fucking like that sea creature with the tentacle.
Right. And I think it was all in his head. He was just seeing it. You know, and that's what he thought. You know, that's what he thought this guy was. But one random scene, which I guess he's dreaming or whatever, and that mermaid comes out, and he's like having sex with the mermaid. Remember that?
Yeah, and she screams hella loud and crazy.
Yeah, that scream. That's what I was going to bring up. That scream is like so eerie. It gives you chills, dude.
Dude, I had my windows open, and it was like fucking 4 a.m, okay? And I had my TV on full blast, and I had to like pause it to turn it down because somebody probably thinks somebody's getting murdered in my fucking home.
Hey, screams like that are just fine now.
I mean, man, but it was pretty crazy.
Right. What's up, Chad?
Chad is in the building?
Chad is in the building.
All right, so let's talk about the part where when the guy from Twilight goes completely batshit crazy and he beats the brakes off of Willem Dafoe, and he makes him say, he says bark like a dog, and he barks, and then he makes him he walks him like a dog, right, and he throws him in a ditch, and he fucking buries him alive, takes the keys. Takes those fucking keys, right? Goes straight up the stairs. Now, this is the part that's crazy. So he goes up the stairs, he opens it, and he sees the light. Somehow he sees the light, and then he falls down the stairs. And after he falls down the stairs, it goes to a cutscene with the seagulls eating him alive, basically.
Right.
So
that's how it ends.
The question is that did he fall down and he survived and he ran out of food for a long time, went crazy, got naked, and just gave up and the birds finally got him? Or did he fall down, die, and just like crawl outside without his clothes on and the birds kill him? That doesn't make any sense.
A lot of questions. So for the people who just joined, we're talking The Lighthouse, all right, a movie we just recently watched. So him going directly up to the, you know what I think happened? I think it's just straight facts what happened of why he fell down the stairs. Dude, those lighthouse lights are bright as shit. They're extremely bright. They will blind you if you look into them, just like a searchlight. This fool goes up there and he's like stares into the light. The reason why he stares into the eye, it's burning his eyes, it's burning his retinas, and he's screaming, and he falls back and rolls down the stairs and kills himself. That's how I think it does. That's what I think, dude. He's just. But you can go other ways. But then you talk about he's naked and they're picking the. I think the seagulls just pick the clothes off of him. I'm literal with this. Like, you don't look into a lighthouse light, dude. You're gonna freaking burn your eyes and be blind for life. And that's what he was. I'm going straight literal.
that makes a lot of sense. I think we've discussed enough about this movie where we know what happened to him, and at the end of the day, I give this movie out of 5. I want to say a solid 3 out of 5.
You know what? I'm going to agree with the 3. I'll give it a 3 out of 5 as well. So
3. Only reason why I want to give it a 3. I would have given it a 4, but it really honestly was more realistic than like scary. It was more reality than anything about just 2 people going stir crazy and getting fucked up and just realizing that they're gonna die either way, and this is just how it happened.
Yeah, it was more like a suspense thriller than like almost a horror movie, but it still dipped its toes in the horror genre for sure. So, but that's true. And there's one more scene I wanted to bring up, which was weird. Remember when Willem Dafoe is completely naked and he's standing like sideways and the lights
yeah.
What was that about?
I don't know.
Dude, like fucking Lopan and Big Trouble in Little China.
No, he was supposed to be Triton, the king of fucking the sea.
Standing there naked with the stance.
Yeah, supposed to be Triton. Yeah.
So, but there's so many interpretations you can get from this shit, dude. And it was the cinematography was excellent. It was directed really well. It was acted really well. This is not like a B horror movie. This is a straight, like, put their time into it. Great production. So it's not like Macabre to where it was like that we talked last week. So this is really high production value. It was in the theaters for a while. So kind of a different pace from our last week. But all in all, I agree with your 3 out of 5. So 3 out of 5 stars for this.
3 out of 5. Boom.
Cool. Any last thoughts on the movie?
I don't know if I watch it again. Maybe I'd watch it with a friend who just, like maybe just wanted to see how crazy this movie is. But I give the actors definitely credit for just being 2 actors acting really well. It was shot well. The idea was really good. And I think the director nailed it on what he wanted to film.
Right.
Like, I don't think you can ever you can't copy it. You can't make another movie about a lighthouse.
It's extremely unique, and that's the thing. It's hard to be unique in the horror genre now. There's a lot of copycatting and stuff like that. But this is, and which is not a problem. I love a ton of movies that are exactly the same in horror, which doesn't bother me. But this is something that's all on its own, and to watch it again. Like maybe back if this came out like in the 80s and 90s when we're watching, VHS tapes and live TV only, yeah, I'd probably watch it again. But now there's just so much material out there. I don't see a reason for me to watch it again, and unless I want to put the subtitles on, like you said, and hear more of it. But after discussing it with you, I think I'm fine. So this is Dad and Dinero Discussions. We discussed The Lighthouse. We'll do it again. I'm going to post this up on my YouTube channel, Dad Watches Horror Movies. I'll also add it to my IGTV station, which is right here at Horror Movie Dad. I want to thank my man Kenny, K. Dinero, for coming on. And we appreciate you guys. And that's it for me. Anything from you? And he's buffering. We buffer at the end. There he goes. All right. Take it easy, Kenny. I'll talk to you later.
All right.